We be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom. My name is Armin Navabi.
I'm Ali Sawani, and we will bring you the news today. So, welcome back, everyone. We were able to hear that Israel has officially opened its bomb shelters to its citizens for this weekend, anticipating an all-out war and missile launches from the IRGC after they were apparently notified by U.S. officials of an escalation coming soon. The U.S. State Department issued another worldwide alert citing escalation in the Middle East. So diplomats from the UK, France, and Germany have reportedly evacuated Iran, and we currently have the biggest airlift we've seen in months, bringing equipment to the Middle East all day last night and today. We're about to see a 13th night in a row of U.S. strikes on the Islamic Republic of Iran to gain further control of the Strait of Hormuz and provide safe passage for oil tankers, with the strikes expected to expand. On average, one oil tanker has been struck every 3 days, and we're already hearing some preliminary reports that maybe another one was struck tonight. The Houthis are continuing to blockade the al-Mandab and the Red Sea while we await imminent U.S. strikes by strategic B-1 and B-2 bombers on nuclear facilities in central Iran, including Pickaxe Mountain. In addition to all of that, the Islamic Republic has fired missiles and drones non-stop to Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. And we saw that the United States last night destroyed a very important border crossing from Iran into Iraq, almost taking out the chief of police of the Islamic Republic as well. As always, we will bring you the clips and news from inside Iran as well, such as fights between politicians on state media, the unjust and tragic execution of more of the Iranian people, and what the regime supporters inside Iran are saying in their discussions. To start us off, we will first be looking at a clip from Donald Trump today. He had a speech, and we'll see if anything's on the way.
We're doing very well against the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're doing extremely well. They would like to do something, but I say they're not ready yet. They need more of the same. They're not ready yet. They got some evil intentions. We cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. If we did all this that I'm talking about your data centers, isn't that important? When they start blowing away communities one by one, we cannot let them ever even think about having a nuclear weapon, and that's exactly what's happening.
Apparently, Barak Ravid from Axios talked to Donald Trump today, and according to Barak Ravid, he has said, quote, word for word, "I'm considering a massive attack, bigger than ever before. I am close to making a decision. We are all set for it," said President Donald Trump, according to Axios. Now, this comes in light with all of the bomb shelters in Israel being reopened and citizens getting alerts on their phones and etc. that perhaps be prepared for some escalation this coming weekend. You know what that tells me, though, Armin? It tells me that Israel doesn't know exactly when we're going to escalate. They just got the notification that it's going to happen. What do you think?
It's hard for me to believe that Americans would arrange any large-scale military operations without coordinating with Israel. At least talking to them. Yeah.
And that does check out because Benjamin Netanyahu was scheduled to come to the United States, and he has now canceled his trip in light of this escalation that's about to happen. All of these things are pointing towards a lot of interesting news coming out. A lot of people are reported seeing bombers or expecting bombers to be on their way because we see refueling tankers active over Greece and the Mediterranean. What we did see on Tuesday, and I was right about this, the B-1 bomber was active on Tuesday over the Islamic Republic of Iran, over Tehran, and did strike the missile cities' production facilities there. The B-1 was escorted from England with a train of refueling tankers to get it to Iran. And it looks like people are largely expecting the same because the same train of refueling tankers is active as we speak. They are scheduled to arrive in about 2 hours, so we will be catching it on stream, hopefully. if that does seem to be the case. And we can even see that there was a worldwide safety alert issued by the State Department, stating that due to heightened tensions in the Middle East, the security environment remains complex, with the potential for unforeseen escalation. Now, this issue was alerted to all Americans, but it seems that most embassies from foreign countries inside Iran also took this pretty seriously. And there are many countries like New Zealand and Australia even declaring that there is an absolute no-go to the Islamic Republic of Iran, no travel. Same with Germany, France, the UK, United States, and some other countries here as well. Speaking of the American government, we saw something pretty annoying, but we're pretty used to it at this point. If we go over to Faytuck's News, we can see that the Senate and the House have yet again voted to limit President Donald Trump's powers in the war with Iran. The House voted and passed to limit Trump's powers, but the Senate voted to reject it. So this has not gone through to the president so far. Even if it did, he would still veto it. The Senate and House would need a 2/3 majority. It's never going to happen. They continue to be annoying little pests that they are, the United States House and Senate, speaking as an American who grew up in the system. In terms of diplomatic, developments, we can see that the Prime Minister of Iraq, Ali al-Zaidi, is now in Tehran. And he has done some interesting meetings with some interesting people. After he announced his visit, we can see him here shaking hands with a man that we all know. I was able to grab this from an Islamic Republic state media channel. That on the right is Ghalibaf, the current number 2 or even number 1, you might say, of the Islamic Republic. And on the left is the Prime Minister of Iraq. This comes after al-Zaidi visited the White House a few days ago, signing 19 historic agreements with the United States on everything from war to energy. And now he is in Tehran. And that's not the only person that he is met with. He has also, unfortunately, met with Ejei and shook hands with him while smiling. And that picture is going through the rounds, not looked upon favorably by many people. What do you think about that? I think he has to navigate it. He has to play the political game here. He's caught in between. What do you think?
I mean, I'm not surprised by this. This is what he has to do. This. He just met with President Trump. This is a huge warning to the Islamic Republic. He has to go there and shake some hands to remove any excuses for the Islamic Republic waging war of an American government in Iraq. Like, it's easy for us to sit back and say, like, you shouldn't do that. But he's the one who has to deal with his country being right next, sharing borders with a country being occupied by the Islamic Republic with not that much resources to defend against them. He's trying to get the Islamic Republic and American military out of Iraq and do a lot of trade with the United States to bring investments into Iraq. And he doesn't have enough military to push. Without the American military being there, he doesn't have enough military power to push back against the Islamic Republic. So he shouldn't be giving the Islamic Republic any excuses. So this is necessary.
And a lot of people think that Donald Trump may have passed on some messages through the Prime Minister of Iraq there on the left to the Islamic Republic. I'm very curious as to what anyone in the chat might think those messages would be, or what you think. I'm actually not too sure.
Did he meet with anybody else? Ejei, Ghalibaf, who else did he meet with? Like, did we get any other pictures?
That's all I was able to find.
So if that's said, that basically is also a complete confirmation that Ghalibaf is in charge.
Yep. Ghalibaf is in charge. Now, what we've seen al-Zaidi do on the positive side here is that he's giving the Iraqi militias, including IRGC-backed militias, until September 30th to disarm and actually, quote unquote, said, "Surrender your weapons or we will storm your headquarters." So that will be happening in about a month and a half from now. And that is going through like wildfire in Iraqi platforms, their media. So that's just going to be a dynamite waiting to explode there. In addition to that, if we go to the map here, we can see that along this border, there was something quite significant happening. So if we take a look right here, this is a pretty popular crossing for a certain ethnic group from Iraq into Iran and vice versa. And let's take a look at what happened to it last night. So he's saying lay on the ground.
So this is on Iran-Iraq border, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
it was and this bombing happened at the same time when Radon was in Shalamche at the same time.
Just about. We'll get to that in just a second. The aftermath of the strikes were this. They seemed to target something very particular. In fact, there's a burning car or a few cars in there as well. I don't know if that's collateral damage, civilians, or if someone very important was there. What you just said, though, if anyone knows who Radon is one of the most murderous people in planet Earth alive. He has probably the most amount of blood on his hands out of anyone currently alive, directly by issuing orders and conducting plans on how to massacre civilians. We can see him there. He was there earlier. He was there, I think, 3 or 4 hours before that strike took place. I couldn't find any confirmation to see if he was still there. There is a very small possibility that he may have still been there, and that's why the strike occurred. But we have no confirmation on that.
So let me show people where that guy is. We don't have any confirmation, but a lot of Iranians are hoping that strike was intended to take this guy out, Radon, the head of police, the person responsible for killing a lot of Iranian protesters. So they are hoping that he was the target.
That man, or rather monster, conducted a plan and drafted a plan for years on how to organize kill boxes to effectively mow down civilians, unarmed civilians, ending up in over a 50,000 civilian death toll in 10 hours, making it the most horrific massacre of human beings in modern history. Now, of course, most people in the Islamic Republic are also directly responsible for this. And for this reason for the strikes, as I was able to found from other analysts here, went around digging, it said that seems that someone important from the IRGC was there, or there were some IRGC teams that were intending to go into Iraq to help out the militias there, and they got eliminated, or they were actually an espionage team headed for Kuwait. Other than those three options, I couldn't really find any other reason why the U.S. would strike this crossing. So maybe we'll find some more info about that hopefully soon. Going back to our map here, we are also able to see that one of the U.S. bombs or U.S. bases near here, this airfield we can see here, was also bombed, and we can actually see these missiles take off and land at the same time. So we'll show. It's extremely loud. So we can see the missile landing on the airbase. I don't know if this is OPSEC, but this clip has been going around. We can actually see two explosions right there on that U.S. base in Jordan. We can see it one more time at the tail end of the clip. You can see them trying to track the missile, and it lands right there. The U.S. bases in Jordan have been under pretty heavy fire recently, and we can see here that according to the New York Post, On Wednesday, meaning yesterday, another missile from the Islamic Republic slipped through U.S. air defenses, so the Patriot or THAADs, and it struck a weapons depot. This is the same base where 3 American troops were killed just last week, and they said that it caused a mushroom cloud. I'm not quite sure what that could mean here. But in general, a lot of people have been raising questions. Why are the US bases so poorly defended? Well, the answer is actually because the missiles that the Islamic Republic are using are some of their more advanced ones. They do reach hypersonic speeds at some point in their flight and are able to maneuver mid-air to dodge Patriot interceptors here. The question, though, is being raised, why are CENTCOM commanders not allowing or pushing for these bases to build more shelters? They don't have any bomb shelters. They have some concrete walls and metal containers that they have. And we were actually able to find, so according to the Enforcer YouTube channel, who directly spoke to a service member on this base currently serving, who chose to be anonymous, there are 0 bomb shelters. There are only some containers and some pits, machine gun pits that they lie in, and some concrete enclosures. I'd like to show you guys the airlift currently being conducted into the Middle East here. You can see that right here. So last night, what it looked like was this. And we haven't seen this for a long time. And that was just last night. Today, the picture looks like this. So we have a steady trail of equipment being lifted from Europe into the Middle East, and empty tankers going into Europe to pick up any of the rest. You can also see a couple planes right there by England in the top left, largely believed to have started off the B-1 or B-2's descent here into the Middle East. Now, we do have about 1 a.m., 1:30 a.m. in the Middle East right now over Iran, and generally we see strikes conducted just about right now, or about 30 minutes from now is when they usually begin. Do you think we'll have a 13th night in a row of strikes on the Islamic Republic?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason for them stopping. I mean, do you?
I've seen no reason for them to stop. What I don't want to see, though, unfortunately, what did end up happening is here in Bushehr, CENTCOM released one of the videos, and on the hospital, sorry, not the hospital, the airfield, in this general area, they just struck some old pipes that were there for 15 years. And that raised a lot of questions as to, was it an AI system that mistakenly struck it or gave false intel? Was the intel not properly vetted? What other intel is not being properly vetted?
Wait, where is that?
They're a little bit under flack. Sorry?
Where is that? Where is that?
We showed it yesterday, actually. Let me go see if I can find it. July 22nd.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. No, that's okay. That's okay.
Should be. Oh, yeah. I have the pin right there. So let's take a look.
But it just means where
so here it is. So it's in that airport, and that red box are basically just a bunch of pipes with some military camo painted on them. And they were subject to a strike by a CENTCOM video. People went and checked out and saw those pipes were there for 15 years. It's not,
so
not ideal.
They look like missiles. Is that why they hit them?
It seemed like they looked like missiles.
Mm.
But if that information was properly vetted, I mean, with just a simple Google, Earth look, they would have seen that that was definitely not the case. So I expect Congress to crawl all over that and start questioning CENTCOM pretty much immediately. I mean, it happened yesterday, so we're going to see that soon.
I mean, come on. Like, what do you expect? Everything to be 100%, every single strike to be 100% correct? Like, who has that record for everything to be 100% correct information?
Yeah, it's a fair point. We have a couple of memes coming up for you guys from the Islamic Republic, but before that, a couple of kinetic things happened. So in the southern, southeast border of the Islamic Republic in Pakistan, there was a border clash where I was able to find in this piece of Islamic Republic state media that some separatist or freedom fighters or whoever they may have been attacked some border guards and were found out and were actually taken out, resulting in about 2 casualties. And that's all we were able to find of this news. So it looks like the Baluchi, which is the southeast portion of Iran here, have still been pretty active in the past few months. They've targeted probably around a dozen IRGC officers, including intelligence officers as well, and assassinated them. So they are still conducting some sort of operations in the area. Let's get into the Strait of Hormuz. So we saw that CENTCOM reported that the Strait is still under our control. The Islamic Republic does not control it, even if they declare it so. And we have actually allowed 900 ships since early May to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. For reference, while this is amazing, an amazing job from the United States military to bring these ships out safely under heavy missile fire and threats, for comparison, in the 80 days, so about 2.5 months, 3 months before the war started, 10,270 ships passed by in that 80-day period. On the same 80-day period since Project Freedom began, which is 79 days ago, 900 ships have passed through. So that just goes to show how incredibly difficult the Islamic Republic has made it for oil shipping to be conducted in the Strait of Hormuz. We're not even at 10% of the previous traffic. The good news is U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright did say that about 2/3 of the pre-war traffic oil flow is still being conducted. I'm assuming that's pretty much an average barrels per day and not, ships per day. So that has helped, but oil prices are pretty much at $100 right now. And I'm going to check that again. Checked it just a couple hours ago. So oil prices per barrel are now at $100 officially, $100.55, marking us into, again, territory where we are approaching what the war was. So these spikes here are during the 40-day war. We're over here. So we're getting back into that range, which means maybe if something should happen, it should probably happen soon. Or it means we're going back to negotiations, because we've historically seen those dips when some sort of talks take place or some sort of ceasefire. Do you think maybe, logistics and the economics of this, what are your thoughts on the oil price here?
Yeah, I think this confirms that the combination of attack, like this is not just because of the attacks, the increased kinetic operations around the Strait of Hormuz is also in response to Bab al-Mandab. The Houthis are getting more active. Their mere announcement of the blockade had a huge impact on the behavior of tankers around the Bab al-Mandab, around the Red Sea. But now they, just yesterday, they started attacking ships as well. So the combination of both attacks, the Islamic Republic on ships, commercial ships around the Strait of Hormuz, and the Houthis attacks on ships around Bab al-Mandab, that's what it would do. And again, this also suggests that if it gets escalated more, by the way, the prices are now more sensitive to escalation than before, because last time the market took into account the huge oil reserves that many countries had. A lot of that is not there, and there is no way to make up for the around 18 million barrels per day loss that this will cause. There is no alternative. Like, I know we have Venezuela is on US's side now, so is Iraq, but there is no way to in time bring all of that into, especially now with the sanctions on Russia as well. on Russian's oil. There is no alternative to all of that. So the price sensitivity is so high. So we, like, the Islamic Republic's understanding is that if the Americans escalate, they could reach numbers close to $200 per barrel if this escalates, and even above. And now, mind you, they thought about this. They thought this would happen last time as well, and it didn't. But their understanding is that this time it will be different because of low strategic oil reserves. Some people criticize President Trump from coming out and publicly announcing that is a limitation, because some people say, well, he's just saying that as a way to his 5D chess, art of the deal, stuff like that. But some people are saying whatever it was, it emboldened the Islamic Republic, thinking that they have the upper hand, and the Americans are holding back because they don't have enough strategic oil reserves. But the point is that the problem is that the Islamic Republic is not leaving that many options on the table for President Trump anyways. So even it might even be true that the Americans, if they want to escalate, they don't want to escalate now. That it might be true that they don't want to do it now, but the Islamic Republic is basically making President Trump lose his patience. It is possible that because of all of the death threats, all of the attacks on the ships, now the Houthis attacking, and also them saying no to their most recent suggestions for remediators, it might be the case that the White House is going to decide, let's just rip the Band-Aid. This might hurt, but we have to do it.
That's a great point. And the regime is kind of trapped here in a complete dead end. So if it doesn't fire, it loses its deterrence and it gets humiliated. If it fires, well, depending on who it fires to, it gets bombarded heavily. So you can destroy their infrastructure. If they fire on Israel, they just get completely annihilated in terms of leadership. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation for them after all their cards have been repeatedly taken out of their hands. Do we think what is the last remaining card that the Islamic Republic has, in your opinion?
Well, they have a couple right now. Again, like we said before, the Houthis, because even though the Houthis are very weak compared to before, they still are able to attack ships with very little equipment. The Houthis are a card. Hezbollah doesn't seem to be a card right now anymore. We'll see. Because attacking Israel is a big red line right now for the Islamic Republic, because they're terrified that if they get Israel involved in any ways, they're going to come, because it's the Israeli specialty to come and take out regime leaders, right? So if you're one of these decision makers, you're like, okay, they hit a power plant, okay, fine, okay, we'll recover, but you don't want to get hit directly yourself. So anything that would make the Israelis an excuse to get in, the regime is terrified right now. That's why they're not bombing Israel right now. They might, if Israel does get involved, they might, but they're not attacking Israel right now. They're really scared. Their main leverage that they haven't yet used is bombing energy infrastructure, water desalination infrastructure, and other tech infrastructure at a much larger scale in the Arab country. I know they have somewhat hit those here and there, but they haven't gone heavy on them in the way that they have on other things, right? So, for example, if all the missiles that they're hitting at U.S. bases right now, and all the drones that they've been using, for example, how heavily they hit the UAE, different areas, if they focus all of that on targeting energy infrastructure in the Arab countries, or water desalination, or other things, that would be, we don't know how big of a deal that would be, but so far they haven't used that. They basically have left that for because if they use that, then there's no up from going there. That's the highest level of escalation. And again, guys, there's a difference between hitting something as an example to completely hitting them, right? So, for example, United States has hit some bridges in Iran, but those are just examples of what we can do. It's not like going after bridges the way you can, like completely removing their ability to move around, right? So, it's, for example, you could hit one power plant. Okay, that would send a message, but it's not the same. You could basically easily, within hours, the United States could take out every power plant and make the whole country go into darkness. They could easily do that. But there's also certain things that the Islamic Republic can do, obviously not to the same degree, but enough to cause a lot of chaos, maybe, on energy markets and global economy. We have to see if they eventually escalate to that level to target energy infrastructure. Just focus on that. Will that actually create the desired effect that they want, or would a lot of it miss and nothing will happen? That's something that a lot of the world is saying that we shouldn't try to figure out. But it is a lever that I have.
That's pretty much the only lever they have at the moment. The Islamic Republic, on their state media, is claiming that they struck Amazon headquarters in Bahrain and leveled it to the ground. They also have, if they do strike the infrastructure of the Persian Gulf Arab countries, 90% of their water comes from the Persian Gulf. They just take the salt out, take some of the other things out, desalinize it. That's it. Most of the electricity, I mean, Kuwait has 16 power plants, 2 of which are heavily damaged at the moment because of IRGC strikes. They are deathly afraid of that exact scenario happening. And that's why, for a large portion of this conflict, they just tried to play both sides. And it seems like some of them have taken a more proactive role, like the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Bahrain. But there's still some that have cut some sort of underhanded backdoor deal with the Islamic Republic, like perhaps Saudi or Qatar, who are not being struck at all. I think you were going to say something there.
No, we were talking about them hitting tech infrastructure. We were just talking about that, right?
Yeah.
So, our bases, like American companies, right?
Yeah.
So, we mentioned Amazon, like maybe companies like, am I still there? I think
it froze for a second. Oh, you're back.
So yeah, big tech American companies are also a main target that they could consider.
They're even threatening Elon Musk and his assets in the region, although I didn't really know he had much there.
Oh yeah, he has everywhere. He's everywhere. I mean,
I think it's time for. Oh yeah.
No, I'm just saying, giant companies like that are global, and obviously, like in countries like UAE and Saudi Arabia, big companies like that will have a major presence.
Yeah. Well, there goes your 2-day shipping, ladies and gentlemen. If you live in the Middle East, say goodbye to that. Because missiles like this are flying through the air. She got some really good footage of an IRGC missile being launched. You can see that right there, just streaking through the sky in a straight line. Usually they go all, a little bit slower, but look at it. And that is the one heading for the Jordanian base that was striking yesterday. Inside, we'll give you guys a quick recap before we go into the inner workings of the Islamic Republic. What we're largely expecting today are the 13th consecutive night of strikes on the Islamic Republic. They've been creeping up throughout to cover most of the country at this point. What started along the southern coast to get control of the Strait of Hormuz has now been seeing strikes all the way in the northwest of the country. On the map here, we can see that generally CENTCOM and its aircraft carriers are conducting operations from here. They actually moved back a bit to be safe again, which was a big indicator that they were going to start these strikes. But we see cities up here being struck for a couple nights in a row. Not only that, but we've seen here being struck. Even around the capital city of Tehran has also been struck. And you know what hasn't been struck, Armin? As per usual, Mashhad in the eastern part of the country isn't struck. Now, you know what's interesting about that? Right now, in particular, we know the usual reason is they don't really have much rocket launchers there because it's so far away. But guess who is in Mashhad right now?
Khamenei's body.
True, but also people are reporting that Ghalibaf is in Mashhad.
Wasn't he just meeting in Tehran with the Iraqi
With
prime
the
minister?
Yeah, correct. It seems like he is maybe, trying to save his skin. We're not really sure here. Trying to get out of the way of fire. Not too certain about that.
Are you sure
So,
he's in Mashhad?
We're not 100% sure about that. So people in the city of Mashhad are reporting an intense security presence and multiple top officials who are being transported there. People are guessing that it's Ghalibaf, and it would make a lot of sense for Ghalibaf to clear the way and get himself out of the danger zone, but we haven't got eyes on him yet. So we're waiting for that. That would be huge for the regime supporters to start attacking him again.
Wow.
If we go to the capital city,
but be careful with that, because there's so much
Yeah.
rumors about these things. Like there's so many people who love to come up with like stories. So unless it's confirmed, we are not going to believe it. So
correct.
But good,
absolutely.
But good to know what the rumors are.
Yeah. And guys, in front of Freedom Square, that was built by the last Shah of Iran, we can see that the Islamic Republic has brought out a toy submarine. And by toy, I mean this is their legit submarine, by the way. So they bring these out, and also the Zulfiqar missile there you can see, and they're parading them around. As per usual, their stupid antics to try and project strength to their own supporters. But take a look at this submarine. I mean, you can look and see there's a guy standing right there for reference. Right there.
How do you even operate that?
How many people do, like, are you lying down in that? Are you sitting down? How do you walk through it? It's just...
How many people are in there?
I have no idea. I would personally not feel comfortable with more than me and maybe one other person in that. I've heard up to 8 go in there. I'm glad that I was not born into the Islamic Republic Navy, I guess. It seems like
imagine being in there and then hearing that it got struck and that you're about to drown and have a very slow death.
Except you would drown immediately, because instead of taking on water, you'd probably just snap in half. The missile is probably as big as your submarine. And speaking of southern or more memes, if we look at the southern coast of Iran, we can see, I don't know if you've seen this clip. Let me know if you have.
Oh, is she going to get the cold? The people are just going to the cold, like people are not very warm with. So she's the speaker for the executive branch for the presidency, and she's going in the south to meet with people to encourage them, and people are not very interested in talking to her, right? Like, actually, you give your explanation. I kind of ruined it, but you go explain.
So no, you're absolutely right. This is a representative of the president of the Islamic Republic, and she got sent down here to push some propaganda, to be like, okay, so right now in the Islamic Republic, for those who don't know, the South is basically turned into a sort of Lebanon, where the U.S. is striking whenever they want, taking shifts, striking it day and night, and the regime supporters are really pissed. Pezeshkian, the president, sent down one of his representatives here to try and raise the morale, and we can see exactly how it goes. She's like, how are you? Are you good? How are you? They told me to come to the south and see how everyone's doing and encourage them. And thank you.
خدا حفظتون بکنه. زنده باشید. ارادتمند.
دریا رفتیم یا نرفتیم تو چند روز؟ الان میریم دریا.
This guy is just so unimpressed.
انشالله. به دست خودم برگردید
انشالله.
از دریا که نمیترسیم محکم تو دست.
خدا قوت. قربان شما.
It's like, how are you? You guys doing good?
This video is going viral. The government, guys, this is like the presidency, the speaker, like this is their version of what's her name for the White House?
Caroline Levitt.
Caroline Levitt. This is the the team version of Caroline Levitt. She went from the capital to the south to see how the people are doing. And look at this guy is just like, yeah, okay.
He's like, oh God.
Actually yeah, like, okay. So this video is going viral on Persian social media because these guys are just like not very impressed. You know what is impressive is that boat is pretty colorful.
Yeah, I want to go on that. You know what, guys? When Iran is freed, I'm going to find that boat and I am going to recreate this meme.
Do it.
These two guys are southern coast Iranians. You can see they're extremely tan. They work on a boat. They're out in the sun all the time. They're leading a harsh life. It's 120 degrees. And this lady, right, from the air-conditioned capital comes down. Who is the source of their misery? How are you guys doing? We want to thank you guys. And he's not saying, how are you guys doing? Not saying anything. One more time. How are you guys doing? We want to thank you guys. And then finally the guy goes, okay. Oh man,
she was looking for any response, and then they were like, she was trying to.
And they still aired it.
Yes,
I'm surprised they didn't censor that because there was something else they should have censored. They should have censored something else, and they didn't.
What?
Do you know about this?
Oh yes,
it's the guy on the right here is one of the most disgusting pro-Islam politicians. He is one of the people who's like, why are we calling it the Islamic Republic? We shouldn't have a republic. It should just be Islamic. There's no, nothing like this. Kill all the non-believers type of person. And the person on the left is another member of parliament who is, unfortunately, much more stupid than the guy on the right. And we'll translate what this means. Actually, Armin, do you want to translate what this means for them? We play it?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. So he's saying go and get a reference. Go ask, use any polls to see if the Iranian people are for closing the Strait of Hormuz or they're against it. So he's suggesting in this clip, because I watched this clip already. I know that he's the Sabati guy on the right. Guys, Sabati is a member of parliament and part of the Paidari camp, and he's basically one of the most popular pro-regime, anti-MOU ideological pressure camp part of the Islamic Republic. And popular, I mean, not by the Iranian people, by the regime, by the minority regime supporters. So he's pushing against negotiating with the Americans, against the MOU, against the ceasefire, closing the Strait of Hormuz. So he's upset that the Islamic Republic is allowing ships to go through, that they're not aggressive. So he's suggesting, Ali, we should always provide this context because a lot of people might not know what we're talking about. So in this debate, he's saying, go get a poll to see that the Iranian people want the Strait of Hormuz to be closed, which is a lie. There is no poll that suggests that. And if you do any poll, you see that the majority of Iranian people are not thinking about you closing or opening the Strait of Hormuz. They're thinking about you just dropping dead and the whole Islamic Republic dropping dead. That's what they want. They don't like that if you do a poll for the Iranian people, like, should we close the Strait of Hormuz or open the Strait of Hormuz? They're gonna like, where's the option where I could click where you die? Where's that option?
C?
That's C. You die. How about that option? So, but it's kind of like, go get a poll. Go to get a poll. The Iranian people want to close the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, he's not wrong because they are working with different definitions than us, Ali. This is a language, guys. Let me tell you the language that these people use. When they say the people, they're not talking about the Iranian people. This is something you have to always understand. When their definition, this is why it's important to know what is the working definition when we're talking. When they say the people, they're talking about regime supporters, the less than 3% support, the people who want Islamic rule. That's what they're talking about. So he's right. If you poll the people, okay, you are probably going to get 90% for shut down the Strait of Hormuz. But by the people, he just means Durka jihadi Islamic rule-minded people. That's what he means by the people. Okay, so this guy, the guy on the right, Sabati, is for shutting down the Strait of Hormuz. The guy on the left is for negotiating with the Americans, stop being aggressive to all the countries in the world, and stuff like that. But I'll have something that I need to add to this after we play it. So this is on State TV, a debate between somebody who is against the negotiations and somebody who is for negotiations with the Americans on Islamic Republic State TV. Okay, so let's continue.
شما میگی تنگه رو باز کنیم مفت بدیم بره.
یه جوری میگی که من گفتم تنگه هرمز دست ما نباشه.
بله شما میگی در دوره جنگ ببریم بعد بازش کنیم بدیم بره. شما گفتید
بدیم بره. مال ننت بوده که بدیم بره.
مال احمد بوده که
آقای
شهریاری آقای شهریاری ادب.
مال کی بوده که بدیم بره؟
آقای شهریاری
مال کی بوده؟ ارث بابات بوده؟
مجلسید. این چه تربیتی؟ این چه ادبیاتیه؟
شما ادبیاتتون هر جور بگید هیچ اشکالی نداره. ما بگیم اشکال داره.
من ببخشید من وارد بحث ناموسی شدم.
He says like, so Sabati on the right, I don't even know how to translate this to English. Sabati on the right is saying like, you are telling us that we should give up the Strait of Hormuz. The guy on the left, he's getting angry because he thinks that the Strait of Hormuz doesn't belong to the Islamic Republic because the Strait of Hormuz is international waters. So it's not like something that we could give away because we didn't even have it to give away. So he's debating him on that, right? So when he says like, Sabati tells the guy on the left, the blue guy tells the red guy, that you want to give up the Strait of Hormuz. That's what you're saying. The red guy is saying, when did I ever say we should give up the Strait of Hormuz? I never said that. Who does the Strait of Hormuz belong to anyways to give it up? Is it your mom's? Like, is it? So again, this is a lot more rude in Persian. In English, it doesn't translate to very rude. I don't know what the equivalent of that would be in English, but it says like, what do you mean give it away? How could we give it away? Is it your mom's to give it away? And then the blue guy said like, whoa, you're a member of parliament. Why are you speaking like this? This is very rude. Did you inherit it? Yeah, exactly. It's like, is it your, then he switches to your father. Like, is it your father's inheritance? Okay. So.
این منطق شماست؟
ارث باباته؟
آقا اصلا من دارم از شما سوال میپرسم.
شما ربطی نداره. من ربط تنگ هرمز تابع زیر قوانین ولی در زمان
Is it your mom's? Is it your dad's? Is it your aunt's? It's like
so he changed it to something more polite. Is it your father's inheritance? Like to give it away? He's saying the guy on the left is saying the Strait of Hormuz is based on international norms, is based on international norms. It like that's what it should be like. We cannot keep it, we cannot give it away. It's international waters. That's what he's saying, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
جنگ هست و هر کاری لازم باشه انجام
میدیم. من اولا توصیه اینه خونسریتون ارسال کنید. یک. دو. اجازه بدید. نه متشکرم نباشید. اجازه بفرمایید. دو.
Oh, the host is trying to cut him off and being like, okay, thank you, let's end the debate. And he's like, no, don't. Like, he's like, shut up.
So what happened is like, first of all, Mr. You're a member of parliament. I want you to calm down. That's what he saw, but the blue guy is saying to the red guy. I want you to calm down. And then second of all, then the host of the show, the mediator comes and says that okay, I want to be thankful to you, both of your contributions. So Sabiti comes like, you don't need to be thankful. Basically, stop talking. I'm not done yet. So that's what he's saying. But anyways, I think we get the point. But here's the thing, Ali, the guy on the left is making a lot of sense, right?
Yep.
So what did you say? You said that they shouldn't have played this?
Yeah, because this is just showing more disagreement. But it also looks kind of good for the Supreme Durka supporters, doesn't it?
No.
Really? Because Sabiti is more of a proponent of holding on to the Strait of Hormuz, which has brought them so much destruction, and it's sort of a way for revenge. I mean, I was anticipating them being so stupid that they would support that.
So how about you guys discuss this with the chat? I'll be right back. I need to use the restroom. But you guys discuss this, guys. People in the chat, did you? This is a very honest and transparent, open discussion, right? On state TV within the Islamic Republic. Weren't you told that there's high degrees of censorship in Iran? Doesn't this show the opposite? Okay, so let me know in the chat what you're thinking about. Look at this. This is an open and honest discussion between two different views. One person is saying that we need to go aggressive against the Americans. This guy, if you actually watch the full debate, he starts mocking him. He's like, you guys, the guy on the red guy is going to tell the blue guy, you have left us no friends. You are waging war against the entire world. Like, we don't have any friends even in our neighbor. Like, there's no neighbor that is our friend. He said, name one country in our neighbor that is our friend. And then Sabiti, the blue guy, he says, Oman. And the red guy says, we bombed Oman. And the blue guy says, yeah, but it's just among friends. It's okay. They're not responding. And so that's what Sabiti says as part of the discussion. But the guy on the left seems like reasonable. He seems like he's part of the Islamic Republic. He thinks that Strait of Hormuz, we can't hold it. It doesn't belong to us. It's international waters. He thinks that the Islamic Republic is showing so much aggression to everybody in the world that it has left the Islamic Republic completely isolated and with no friends. Like, they have zero friends left for the Islamic Republic, right? So this is an open and transparent, honest discussion among two different views on state TV within the Islamic Republic. And by the way, guys, I'll tell you something. There's a lot of this. This is not just a one-off thing. There's a lot of this, right? So are we lying to you all of this time when we said that there's heavy censorship in Iran? What is this? This is like, look at a view that says that we should negotiate with the Americans, that we should be we should stop being aggressive to the rest of the world. That is getting full exposure on Islamic Republic state TV. So what is happening here? Talk about it. I'll be right back. So let me know what you guys think. I'll tell you what's happening when I come back.
Okay, sweet. All right, guys. So it looks like some freedom of speech is trying to be displayed by the Islamic Republic, which makes a lot of sense here. We also, before Armin gets back, we also have a truth statement post from Donald Trump 20 minutes ago. Oh God, what just happened? There we go. So this is going to make quite a lot of people angry, and it could make a lot of sense. So President Donald Trump basically is just saying, from here on out, every time the Islamic Republic bombs and hurts a ship or anything related to the shipping in the Strait of Hormuz, the money that the Islamic Republic has that we got in our controlled accounts, remember what happened was the sanctions were lifted on the Islamic Republic. They sold their oil. They got about $8-9 billion, and that is going into U.S. interest-bearing accounts that is allowing the Islamic Republic to buy corn and wheat and beans from the U.S. Now he's saying, Donald Trump is saying, every time you hit a ship, we're going to use that money to recover the damages there. A lot of Iranians are going to be pretty mad because they see this as their own money, right? The Iranian people see this as their money, but this will also serve, that's the downside. The positive side, in my opinion, is that this will further humiliate the regime much more This money was only able to buy wheat and beans and barley and corn. Now it's also being used to repair the damages that the Islamic Republic is inflicting on ships. So let's discuss that in just a second. Let's go back to the debate. So Armin, they're trying to show some freedom of speech, huh?
Well, what's the point of that, though?
I don't know.
Okay, so this is the calculation. Okay, the blue guy is being used as a boogeyman. Okay, they know the Iranian people hate the Islamic Republic. They know the Iranian people want regime change. The Iranian people gave the biggest price possible for regime change, and so far we haven't had regime change. The Islamic Republic wants to show that there is an alternative to regime change, the red guy. Okay? The red guy is the alternative to regime change. It's the false hope. It's the lie.
The
It's
reformers.
the pressure. It's the pustandazi, which is basically what we call skin shedding. Okay, so it's basically we call it to skin shedding because just like a snake, when it sheds its skin, it's the same snake but with a new skin. They're trying to preserve the Islamic Republic. They want to make the Iranian people choose the red guy instead of regime change. It's a marketing tactic because they know the blue guy is going extinct. The Islamic Republic understands that the blue guy is going extinct. So they either have to sell the idea of the red guy to the Iranian people to keep the Islamic Republic, or the whole thing, they will lose the whole thing. So this
cut off
is
their arm to stay alive.
this has been a multi-year plan project the Islamic Republic has had. The skin shedding process, the rebranding of the Islamic Republic, the rebranding of the Islamic Republic as something that looks good but is the same evil underneath, right? So, and I'll tell you why it's the same evil. But basically, there are only three options for the future of Iran, and one of them seems to have very close to zero chance. Either it's the ideological Islamic ideological branding, right? What other people refer to as the hardliners, or is the rebranding of the Islamic Republic with the Third Republic under the leadership of people like Ghalibaf, with the reformist, again, I put that in quotations because it's not reform, with the reform branding, a new Islamic Republic that is not as Durka, that could maintain some normal relationship with the rest of the world to some extent and would liberalize its economy to some extent, right? The third option is regime change and Pahlavi rule. There's only three options. And given that the Islamic Republic knows that the first option is not sustainable, then they have to use the first option as a boogeyman to sell the second option. As a like, choose the second option or else you're going to get the first option. The Iranian people want to go with the third option. The Islamic Republic, to survive, has to try to show that the third option is impossible. Choose the second option, or else you're going to get the first option. Okay.
That's something they've been pushing quite heavily.
Does that make
I think
sense?
It's been, what, 3 or that makes sense. Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
people in the
does.
chat? People in the chat, did that make sense, or does that require more explanation? But yeah, go on. Sir.
So the Islamic Republic is trying to push option A or B. People in Iran don't want option A or B. They want an entirely different option. They want option C. The Islamic Republic is like, hey, forget about C. Okay, the best we can do is either A or B, and A is looking pretty impossible. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to kill off the hardliner ideology and adopt the reformist ideology. We're gonna have to metamorph into something new. Is it gonna be new? No, it's not gonna be new, is it?
So the covering would be new, but the fundamentals would not be new. Okay, it will be just the same thing with the new cover, with the new wrapping. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm glad most people said that they understand, and this is why the fundamentals would be the same. It's important to understand, guys, that we have three types of freedom. Three types of freedom: political freedom, economic freedom, social freedoms. Right? Social freedoms is like what I get to wear, what I get to eat, what movies I get to watch. You know, do I get to dance? Do I get to sing? You know, do I get to, have express, myself in different kinds of art and music? Well, that's a cultural freedom, social freedom. Are theaters allowed? Okay. Do I get to choose? That's the cheapest freedom. Okay. But that gets the most attention on the media, right? The economic freedom and political freedom is what makes a society prosper. And if you have political freedom, you will get economic freedom and social freedom with it. Political freedom is what you need more than any other freedom, because with political freedom, you can get economic freedom and you can get social freedom. But what the Islamic Republic is going to do in this rebranding is it's going to give social freedom. It's going to give social freedom. It's going to give people some ability to say some things, but it's not going to affect the fundamental politics of the, you get to say things, but it's not going to change anything. Your voice doesn't mean anything. You have no vote. Your vote is meaningless. It doesn't do anything. The economy will pretend to be liberalizing, but it will just go from, if the rebranding is successful, it will go from command economy to crony capitalism or state capitalism, right? It's not going to go to regulated free capitalism. It's going to go to state capitalism and crony capitalism, and it's just going to change hands from the people, powerful people within the regime under the government to the private sector, but still under the control of the same people who were in the regime before. So meaning it doesn't make any meaningful difference, right? So similar to something that happened in Russia. The privatization was not through a free and fair process where it liberated the economy. It just exchanged hands between so basically the same people that used to hold them as a part of the government, now they hold them as this corrupt mafia-like private companies that still maintain their control over the same industries. So, but it looks better, right? It looks better to the media. People are like, oh, look at these girls with that hijab. Oh my God, look at this concert that is free. It looks better, but here's the thing: you will be able to drink alcohol, you will be able to go to concert, you will be able to sing in the streets, but you will be poor. You will be breathing in polluted air. Your roads and your cars will still be as dangerous as before. Your economy will still be command economy and not free, and people will still, so you will be able to drink alcohol, and you might need it because you're still poor compared to the rest of the country. So you need the free alcohol and the free singing to be able to sing and drink your sorrows away, because you're still behind the rest of the world. That's not the liberty that they're not looking. The Iranian people are not just looking for the cheapest version of liberty where they just get to take off their hijab. They want liberty in the true meaning of liberty. They want liberty as in they want to be able to choose their own destiny. They want the right to determine their own history. That's what they want. They want to have a say in how their country is operated. They want to have a say in who actually represents them, and the only way to do that is with Pahlavi, because it's only the Pahlavi name that filters out everybody else that is trying to do a rebranding of the same old. And the Islamic Republic is trying to do the rebranding with many anti-Islamic, leftist, communist, anti-Zionist, anti-imperialist minded people, because they have an understanding that they don't have the Islamic branding, but it's still the same fundamental anti-imperialism, anti-Zionism, anti-capitalism mentality that exists among them. But they're trying to do a little bit of less Islam, do a little bit of a more, oh, we have women rights. Look, women have women get to speak and sing and without a hijab, but it's the same fundamental values that keeps Iran behind. And this is why the Iranian people have realized what this plan is, and they have bled for this plan not to work. So if anybody sees like, oh, look, this guy makes a lot of sense, maybe they're not that bad, let's go for them. The Iranian people gave their lives in the tens of thousands to make sure that this rebranding doesn't happen. The only way that Iran will be free is with Pahlavi. And the reason, and this is not, a lot of people don't understand why just Pahlavi, why there's no option, no other option, because the Islamic Republic has managed to create so much false opposition that looks very un-Islamic, that looks very much against the Islamic Republic as a whole. But every single time the Iranian people realize that this is with the Islamic Republic, this is part of the plan of the Islamic Republic, so that the people who are now in power could continue staying in power. And every single time the Iranian people have said no, and they have realized that the only name that will never be able to be rebranded or be used as a way to keep the Islamic Republic alive is the Pahlavi name, because the Islamic Republic is allergic to the Pahlavi name. And it's not just because they love Princess of Pahlavi, it's also because of the allergy and the disgust that not just the Islamic Republic, but these leftists have to anything that is Pahlavi related, is why the Iranian people have realized that by making the branding and the leadership of the revolution Pahlavi, they automatically keep everything that is a disease for Iran out. It's an automatic filtering of all of the vile and all of the three corruptions that the Islamic Republic, that the Iranians people identify as part of the same ideology of the Islamic Republic. The mullahs, the leftists, and the MEK. The Pahlavi name automatically filters them out because they themselves don't want to be associated with Pahlavi. That's why the Pahlavi name has so much utility beyond having a really able leader with the right values and the right team and with the right plan. Beyond all of that, just the name itself, just the brand itself works as a filter that the Iranian people can trust to know that none of that virus is going to make it in, because they're going to keep themselves out as long as you're Pahlavi. Does that make sense?
And it's exactly how they got into power in the first place, wasn't it? The Islamic Republic.
Right. Yes, exactly. Guys, the fundamentals of the Islamic Republic is not Islam. The fundamentals of the Islamic Republic is anti-Americanism, anti-Israeli, anti-Zionism, isolationism, and command economy. These are the fundamentals of the Islamic Republic, and Islam just works so well for anti-Americanism, anti-Zionism, isolationism, and command economy. It just works so well to be able to do that. But the people in power within the Islamic Republic, they are willing to completely rebrand, but keep those fundamentals, because those fundamentals makes them money, makes them billions and billions of dollars. And those fundamentals will not go away until the whole system collapses.
And can you briefly explain what a command economy is?
A command economy is when you have a centralized authority decides what, who controls what, in what amount. They decide the prices. They decide the supply. Basically, taking the free flow of goods and services out of the hands of the people who are freely choosing what they want and how much of each one of them they want, and how much they want to produce, how much they want to buy, how much they want to sell, how much they want to trade. Instead of the market itself, the wisdom of the crowd deciding that, which is the best way to get the highest amount of prosperity in any society, you get that all of those decisions into the hands of a few, and those few will use it to enrich themselves and slow the economy down and keep your society backwards, keep your country back. But it's good for keeping some few people at the top very rich, but it basically is the fastest way to reach poverty, to bring poverty to a society, to a country.
Gotcha. And the Islamic Republic just managed to manage that system way worse than Russia and China did. So, I'm looking at the updates here, and we seem to still have some unconfirmed reports of explosions. But what I do want to get to was Donald Trump's Truth Social. So we're still waiting on the major strikes to be conducted tonight. It'll be the 13th night. This isn't unusual for them to start so late. So we're approaching 2 a.m. Iran time here. We've seen them start around here. So going to this, by the way, thank you, Professor Nababi. Guys, that was excellent. And I'm going to write this.
Thank you.
Guys, that was great. Guys, come on. Guys. People.
Thank you. Thank you. That's sweet.
So, we go to Trump's Truth Social. I pulled it up when you went away for just a second. But he's saying that if the Islamic Republic hits a ship, we'll use the money that they have in our accounts to pay for it. The same money that was supposed to buy food, like the corn and stuff, they'll use that to pay for it. I looked into it for a second, and it seems like that's actually not very legal. He's not actually able to do that. Now, I mean, there's workarounds to it, I'm sure, but as it stands, he's not able to do it. So that means that this is a ideological rift that he's trying to create, right? The regime supporters were already so sensitive about the buying of corn and wheat, and now they're being told that it's going to be used to pay for the damages the IRGC is making. What do you think?
Okay, let me see. Please let the statement serve to represent until further notice that from this point forth, any and all damages done to ships, cargo, or anything related there will be paid for by Iranian money that the United States has in its possessions and controls. These damages may be very substantial, but nevertheless, this is the fair and equitable thing to do. Thank you for your attention to this one. So is this the money from the frozen funds or from the oil sale of oil that they were supposed to get some corn for? Which one is
it? He
it?
didn't
Or
specify,
both?
but if I was a regime supporter, I would immediately think about the corn because that's still fresh on my mind.
This is so... You're right, Ali. Your analysis is 100% correct. Because they never got the corn. They never got the hay. They never got the corn. And now Trump is going to keep... Like, if I was a regime supporter that was against the negotiations, I would be pulling my hair out right now. I would like, you effing morons, what are you doing? You sold the oil. They opened the blockade to sell so that you could sell your oil, and they got the money. Like, how did you manage to walk into such an obvious trap? Guys, remember how many of you, when I was saying like the MOU does make sense, it might be a trap, it divides them. A lot of you like, no, Armin, the MOU is bad, negotiations are bad. Look at the trap that they walked in. Remember how many times we showed you videos of the Paidari camp people saying this is a trap, we're walking into a trap, and we told you the Paidari camp people are right, they are walking into a trap, and it was such an obvious trap. Remember how many times we told you like the Islamic Republic is falling for the negotiation trick by President Trump a third time? This is the third time that they're walking into a trap. It was such an obvious trap, and they fell into it. Like, oh no, Armin, the negotiations means that they're going to get so much money. They didn't. None of the benefits of the MOU, they didn't get the $24 billion. The $24 billion of frozen assets did not get released to them. The $300 billion that was supposed to be invested, none of that happened. Not only that, the blockade removal and the waiver of the sanctions that made the Islamic Republic be able to sell its oil, none of that money came to it. Went to the United States. The United States said, well, go sell your oil, and they are keeping the money. Maybe I hope so. I don't know actually, but it seems like they're keeping the money. Sure, we allow you to go sell your oil, and now we're gonna keep. Thank you for selling your oil, and now we're gonna keep the money from your oils. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, Scott Besson did say he's going to keep that money for the Iranian people. So there's only a couple replies to it. That news just came out onto the Islamic Republic media channel, so I'm waiting to see if there's more replies to it before I show
like
you
think
guys.
about it. Like if I'm a regime supporter, I'm like, why is it that when we sold the oil, we agreed that the Americans hold the money and that they might give us food? Did we not think that they might just keep the money and not give us the food? Like, did nobody think that? Like, did we trust the Americans? Like, did Ghalibaf really just trust the Americans that if we give them the oil money, he's just going to be like, okay, fine, here's some corn? What? Like, we had no power to stop him from just keeping the money and giving us nothing. We had no power to stop him from that. And we still fell for it.
They lost their minds for weeks about that. That's all I saw. Guys, I go into their group chats, I read all the Islamic propaganda and everything, and I see what the replies and all the comments are. They are still not over. They will never be over that. They will never be over that. Guys, 1 year ago, if you went to any of these people in the Islamic Republic and you said, a year from now, you're going to negotiate with the Americans, you're going to sign a deal with them, you're going to let them, they're going to let you sell oil. That money that you get from the oil is going to go into American accounts, then you buy food from their farmers. And actually, you can't even do that anymore.
Yeah,
now, that money is going to be used for reparations.
Wait.
They would lose their mind.
Wait. I have somebody, please take this meme and put President Trump on it. Okay. So like, yeah. So okay, so I see you have a few $1 billion in escrow accounts and you want to buy corn and American corn and soy and some American hay with that. Okay, let me check and see, like, and it's gone. It's gone. And it's gone. Oh my god, this is great. Yeah, give them some of that lettuce that you have right now. I think if you don't yeah, guys, Americans, don't throw away your lettuce. Just give it to the no, actually don't. You might, other people might.
And I'm still looking at seeing what they're saying about it, but it's not looking. It's so far they're just like, oh, he's not going to do anything. It's just a threat. Like, don't worry about it. So I'm waiting for those messages that are really going to come in here. We do have alligrams for you guys today. And before that, did want to go over a couple things. So the Islamic Republic is still executing Iranians. Why do they do that? They execute Iranians because every time that they feel pressure, they try to show the Iranian people that if you were to rise up again, we'll execute you. Yesterday, they executed 2 more people. They executed 2 twins, Romina and Taraneh Rahimi, you can see here. And they also executed a man. We'll show his picture in just a second. These 2 twins were executed for the crime of waging war against God. Okay. And we can see that another man, Mehdi Khanaki, was also executed today. And this is posted by Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi. They do this, again, as a reminder. Every time they feel pressure, they start executing. Now, there's a dozen more, 20, 30 more people who are having expedited trials, kangaroo courts. The lawyers don't do anything. There's no evidence. They get false confessions from torture. And they do this just to show the Iranian people, don't come out next time. Why? Because they're scared. Because they start thinking that the Iranian people are going to come out. Remember, guys, there's economic pressure right now. There's all sorts of protests from the veterans, from the retirees, people who live on government salaries, the farmers, students. They're all, if those people all join together, each one of these is a spark for the people to uprising. There's no shortage of economic hardships here, I promise you. So I want to make sure we got those Javid nums and you guys are aware of that. Going back to the Middle Eastern news for just a second before we get some potential updates here. Saudi Arabia, as we told you guys yesterday, now has a deal with the United States. It's formally approved, and we'll show you guys a clip of that right here. So this is Caroline Levitt, who's back from pregnancy. She came back a little while ago, and she's going to talk about the nuclear deal that's being made by the United States and Saudi Arabia, where Saudi in the future might even get to enrich uranium for a nuclear weapon. So let's see.
Where the Middle East can be a peaceful and stable region. And yes, this deal with Saudi Arabia, the energy deal, is contingent on this condition as far as the president is concerned. So we'll continue to talk with our Saudi counterparts to get the deal finalized and hopefully see them joining the Abraham Accords very soon.
Did you hear that, Armin? Join the Abraham Accords very soon. So the deal is President Trump will allow Saudi Arabia to bypass the IAEA. They don't have to go through the UN or like the worldwide regulations for a nuclear program. They will just deal with the US about it. The US controls everything. Saudi gets a nuclear program. In return, Saudi joins the Abraham Accords. Do you feel like that's an equivalent value kind of thing here? What's your thoughts about that?
I mean, I like it. I like the Abrahamic Accord, and I even like it. I like it more as a framework for eventually it turning into the Cyrus Accord, for sure. The Cyrus Accord would be superior to the Abrahamic Accord, but the Abrahamic Accord itself has been a huge success and something that President Trump should get a lot of recognition for. I don't like the Saudis getting anything atomic related at all.
Yeah.
It's as much as I like the Abrahamic Accord and as much as I like the fact that the condition to go to to join the Abrahamic Accords is back for the Saudis getting anything, I do not trust Muslim countries with atomic. And guys, I know there's restrictions. And they're not there's no enrichment by them. It doesn't matter. The infrastructure that they're getting will create the groundworks for them to be able to at some point enrich and get a nuclear bomb. And that I mean, I know it's not about trust, but it's a bad idea to allow Islamic countries having any nuclear facilities. And we learned this the hard way with Pakistan. Do not make the same mistake again. Saudi Arabia is not a stable country. Even if the Saudis are very, very pro-America and ally of United States, there is underneath all of that, there's a revolution waiting to be happening, an Islamic revolution, a Wahhabi / plus Muslim Brotherhood revolution that is very much against the House of Saud. The House of Wahhab might rise one day again, and if oil prices drop really fast, the Saudis will go bankrupt. The whole nation could go into a lot of chaos and instability, and we might have an Islamic revolution in Saudi Arabia in a similar to what we saw in Iran in 1979. The Saudis know how big of a danger that is. This is their biggest nightmare. Many of what the Saudis do is for the sake of trying to push back against that revolution that they fear one day will happen in their country. And imagine if it does happen and Saudi Arabia goes back full Wahhabi after an Islamic revolution, and now you have give them the ability for them to make their own nuclear bombs. So that's a horrible idea, in my opinion, and should not be done.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is something that Congress couldn't even push back against unless they have a 2/3 majority.
Yeah. So the current deal is Saudi joins the Abraham Accords, which is, making peace with Israel, having good relations with them. It helps the region as a whole a ton by having the supposed leaders of the Arab world, Saudi Arabia, make peace with Israel. Signals to other people to follow, but then they get a nuclear program. And we all know that in the beginning it's for energy. Then we know at the end it's about nuclear enrichment. I mean, Saudi Arabia is not a country that is in dire need of energy. They have a low population. They have a ton of money. They have a lot of sun. You have solar panels. You have other things. You don't really need it. Is this a setup for them to enrich uranium in the future, 10, 20 years from now? Probably.
Well, I mean, Mohammed bin Salman had said publicly that if the Islamic Republic gets a nuclear weapon, they will get a nuclear weapon. He has said that.
Yep. And we have some breaking news for you guys. So make sure you pay attention. Everyone perk up. We have from our direct source in Iran, from Vahid Online, who gets information from Iranians, we are able to see, this is in Farsi, let me translate it for you guys. We're able to see that once again, the southern coast of Iran is being hit. So the city of Ahvaz in the southwest of Khuzestan province is being hit very hard, apparently. People are saying that they hit it very badly. It sounds of a large explosion or a barrage even. The bombing is not stopped. It's almost 2 minutes in a row that the bombing is not stopped. So it looks like some sort of barrage is hitting that city right now, which is quite interesting. The strikes have begun for the 13th night in a row. Now I'm waiting to see, are there any more cities that are being hit right now? We also hear jets above the Islamic Republic, American jets over Ahvaz that just bombed the place. In addition to that, the B-2 bombers are on their way, or the B-1 rather, is on its way. So according to Cyprus media outlets, let's show you guys the map here. So Cyprus is this island right here, right close to Israel. So it appears that the B-1 bombers are somewhere over the Middle East as of right now, which actually I perfectly predicted that, saying about 2 hours from now. So roughly in about 30 minutes, they should be dropping ordnance over their targets in the Islamic Republic. I'm actually kind of surprised I called that down to the half hour there. Although we'll see. So again, that's according to Cyprus state media. We also have some E-11A aircraft overhead in the Middle East, which are flying communications hubs. During the entirety of the 40-day war, only 5 of them were used. We got another 3 of them on way to the Middle East from the U.S. in the past 48 hours, signaling that indeed a decision has been made to strike key targets or conduct a massive operation over Iran. Now, is it possible that these B-1 bombers are conducting the bombings in Ahvaz? Because they did say it was a barrage. And, that would be a strategic bomber use there. So we'll get more information. We'll keep an eye on that. But now would be a good time to start reading the super chats while we keep updated on the news. And boy, do we have some today. So make sure you stay tuned. We're going to be answering questions. And as soon as the bombings expand, we will be giving you guys that updated breaking news. Eli Goldman has said, Durud, friends. Durud, Eli. Thank you so much.
Durud.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Fleshy Interloper said, hello, Counter, my old friend. Oh, did we hit? We did. We got confetti on both. Nice. Thank you so much, Fleshy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys in the chats. Thank you so much. Again, guys, please subscribe to both of our channels, Ali Samani and Liberty Politics. If you're watching on either one, make sure you at least subscribe to the other channel. We're here every single day. Promise you, you're not going to get any better Iran coverage anywhere on the internet, whether it's in Farsi or English. So thank you, Fleshy. And Misha saying, thanks for the best intelligence coverage, Durud.
Thank
you so much. Misha's always very kind. And Eli Goldman also gifted 5 Liberty Politics memberships. It's very kind of you. Thank you so much. If you guys got a membership, Type something in the chat. Test out your little star. And Misha also said Gully Board. I think he's trying to make fun of Gully Buff. I like calling him Girly Buff. I think it's funny. Is Gully Buff here in the chat right now? We have someone with that username. Thank you, Misha.
Yes.
Sarah, thank you for the super chat saying, Armin, one of your viewers in Iran had his third son 2 days ago. Guess what they are naming the baby? Armin. So happy he will grow up in a free Iran. Oh.
No way. That is, wow.
Wow, so someone on the Persian channel had a kid.
That's so sweet. Why?
That's
Why
great.
Armin? That's a really great, guys. Armin means the guardian of Iran. So that's what it means.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Some preliminary reports that these bombing barrages over the city of, by the way, thank you so much, Sarah, in honor of Armin. We're getting some preliminary reports that the bombings over Ahvaz are on the 92nd Armored Division base. If that's true, we will talk about it more in detail, but that area of Iran is very heavily guarded by tanks and mechanized brigades because of the Iran-Iraq war. It's one of the only places where you can launch troops in a land invasion into Iran. We've seen some of the tank reinforcements from the IRGC go into that area over the past week. Thank you so much, Sarah. And Fleshy Interloper saying, for more alligrams, we do have those. We have a few for you guys. So let's try to get through this, and we will get to them. Again, alligrams, for anyone who doesn't know, is when I go into the IRGC group chats, the political discussion groups. I grab some of the messages from people like us on the other side, see what they talk about.
You don't get this anywhere else. You get some insights into how these people think, and nowhere else has this for you. So you guys should be very grateful that Ali does this for us.
Thank you.
I'm grateful at least.
And thank you, Fleshy. And Sarah, thank you for the super chat saying, will the diaspora get to vote in the referendum? I believe if they are Iranian citizens, right?
Oh my, yeah. I mean, if they're diaspora, that means they're Iranian citizen. For sure they would.
Well, so for example, let's say you have someone like me who was born in the United States. Now, I've also lived in Iran. I have Iranian citizenship, but if they were born here, raised here, and didn't have Iranian citizenship, I don't think they'll be able to vote. I think they have to apply for citizenship.
Are their parents
first.
Iranian citizens? Are their parents
Correct. So
Iranian
they
citizens?
apply and then get it.
So yeah, if your parents are Iranian citizens, I think you're going to get Iranian citizenship.
Yeah. So that office, the citizenship office, is going to be flooded with orders. So yeah, Sarah, not immediately, but once they apply and get the citizenship, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to vote. And it'll be a while before we have that referendum, so everyone should get a chance to vote.
Yes.
Good
so
question,
Sarah,
by the way.
you vote. Yes. Yeah. What would you vote for, Sarah? Constitutional monarchy? Ooh, you don't have to tell me.
Ooh.
I will vote for constitutional monarchy. Would you, Ali?
Guys, we got a republic or a constitutional monarchy. For right now, as of right now, I'm voting for a constitutional monarchy.
Yeah. Oh, same as Sarah as well.
Same as Sarah. We can put a poll later on, actually. Fleshy Interloper saying Islamic Republic are forcing the United States to attack. Yeah, because they don't stop hitting these damn ships. They really don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, they will never give up on a nuclear weapon. Remember, guys, even if you destroy Pickaxe Mountain, so what? You think they're going to stop trying to go for a nuclear weapon in the future?
That's a good point. The only solution to stopping the Islamic Republic from getting a nuclear bomb is, Ali, is
regime change. Real regime change.
Ding, 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 ding. Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Fleshy. And Fizz Engesis saying no allegrams will result in a coup de chat. All right, all right. You know, I read your guys' messages. Last night I was like, okay, I got it. For the people.
For the people.
Thanks, Fizz Engesis, for the threats. And Fleshy Interloper is saying refinery capacity is a bigger issue than oil stock. Refinery capacity to turn the crude oil into a finished product that you can use in your vehicles. I've heard about that actually being a pretty big issue. I'm just not sure. I don't know too much more about that. I'll look into it though. And Fleshy also said that's why you can leave crazy Durkas in Iran, or maybe can't. I think maybe they said they can't. So you can't leave crazy Durkas in Iran. I don't think, by the way, a lot of people are like, oh, what's going to happen to the IRGC afterwards? Aren't they going to become a guerrilla warfare group? I don't think they'll become a guerrilla warfare group. I think you need the support of the local population to conduct guerrilla warfare for a prolonged period of time. I think what they'll do is they'll form these little militant groups. They'll become like a Hamas or Hezbollah, and they'll conduct bombings, but they're going to be priority number probably 2 or 1 for a free Iran to get rid of. The military is going to be going after them pretty hard, as well as the new intelligence agencies. Should I join them, guys? Thank you, Fleshy. And James Moore saying, I don't really understand why the U.S. is holding back. With 23,000 approximately JSSM standoff crackers in their stocks, just pick your top 500 targets and give them 2 each. Bye-bye IRGC. The U.S. is not, I don't believe, holding back in terms of firepower, because we've seen them airlift equipment in since the 40-day war stopped. I think the only thing holding the U.S. back is the foreign influence that's gotten into the administration and some other, maybe a kind of deep state hand tying that's bothering Donald Trump. But things like, J.D. Vance or other people pushing for a sort of diplomatic solution, I believe, is one of the major things holding back. But even that has had its positives and its plus sides. Like Armin knows, right? You destroy their ideological base, you force them to negotiate.
But I mean, okay, there are some limitations. Let me just, sorry, I just need to take a picture of something. There are some limitations, the 4 M's that United States has. Some people argue that there are 4 limitations, the 4 M's: the markets, munitions, media, and midterms. Right?
Yeah.
So these are, you could argue whether they're true or not, but the good thing about all 4 of them is that they can be resolved, right? So the markets is oil reserves are low. Inflation could go up high right before the midterms if we do something. If we basically, if oil prices go up too high in United States, gas prices might go up as well. So media, there's a lot of media pressure on President Trump in the United States to do something that that none of this was successful. You have to show something, and if he doesn't go to escalate, they're going to say you failed, you don't have anything to show. But if he does, it's going to be like, oh, here we go again, why are we doing this? We don't need to do this. Then what else? The midterms, some people suggest that because of this will have a negative impact on the midterms. Some people don't agree with that. I'm just telling you what the 4 M's are. The munitions, the Americans have enough missiles, missiles for aggressive military operations anywhere in Iran. They have enough of that. But when it comes to missile interceptors, there's a specific kind that is now, they have enough of it for the Islamic Republic, but if it gets to below a certain level, then United States is not going to be in a ready situation to be able to respond to any sort of other escalations that might happen anywhere else in the world. Like imagine if China or Russia want to do something, so it would be responsible for you to get to that low level. So, and again, these types of interceptors take a long time to build, but there is a way to move around some stuff from across the planet to bring them to the Persian Gulf, to be able to then continue military operations. There was a budget that was just passed that gave the United States a lot of maneuverability, because they just got a lot of money right now to be able to continue the military operations. So that should open their, that should basically untie their hands a little bit. I mean, a lot actually. So that's a good thing. But a lot of these things that I mentioned that limits the United States when it comes to responding to the Islamic Republic, the good thing about all of them is that the good thing about most of them is that they're temporary, which means that even if the United States wants to go back to military operations, they might not want to do it now, but the way the Islamic Republic is behaving, they might force the Americans to do it now.
What you said about the interceptors is true. So they have enough attack munitions, but the interceptors, that's the problem. And actually, today, we found out that Raytheon is putting in a new domestic order in the United States for PAC-2, so Patriot Interceptor Missile Series 2, which are a bit outdated. The U.S. military hasn't bought any for 30 years, so that's how outdated they are. But because we need them, we just put in an order for them. So, yeah, that's how much we need them, and that's how much we're being prepared, because we're also about to expend a lot of them in this upcoming war. So we hope you answer that. We answer that question for you, James. Thank you so much. That's a great question. And Fleshy Interloper is saying, yo mama's straight. Yeah, they kind of did. That's kind of like the Iranian yo mama joke. It's like, is it your mom's? As in like, is it that easy for you to give it away? Absolutely. Yo mama.
That is what happened. It was a yo mama joke.
Yeah. And guys, we'll give you some updates in just a second here. We actually have a video of the bombings in Ahvaz. I'll show that in just a second after we read this. So Saber Coaching said new Truth Social post 15 minutes ago. Thank you. That's actually what made me go check the Truth Social.
Oh, thank you
very much.
Thank you for telling us.
And here we go with the video of I'm trying to find it on X here. So okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, let's share this tab. So there's this, and then there's another update in terms of bombings as well. Lighting up the sky. And that was going on for about 2 minutes. I'm not sure if these are the secondary explosion runs that we're seeing, but no one was able to get close as of now. These are just the preliminary videos. I'm going to give you guys 2 more updates here. One is that CENTCOM has declared strikes for the 13th night in a row to hold Iran accountable and diminish threats from the IRGC to commercial shipping. So that actually the wording is a little bit different. They've been copy and pasting the same words for the past 2 weeks. To hold Iran accountable, and we're seeing B-1 bombers probably in theater right now, suggests that we're going to see a different type of attack tonight. Now, as always, we're going to have to wait and see whether or not that becomes reality. Oh man, we have more and more updates. So thank you, CENTCOM, for that. Let's go to the map here to show you guys where the additional strikes are taking place. So once again, Bandar Abbas, the biggest port in Iran, is once again being struck, with residents now, according to Vahid Online, reporting consecutive massive explosions going on. And as well as Andimishk, which should be, just to make my life easier here, should be near Ahvaz. Yeah, and there we go. So it's going to be pretty much along the western border of Iran. That place has also been struck, which is one of the major targets we've seen as well. And that's according to Shin. So, we have more information from Shin on this. Actually, interesting. So, it looks like the Andimeshk Ahvaz Road, which seems to be this highway, was struck. And people are reporting explosions on that. On the road. Are they targeting something, or it's interesting. Interesting. I will continue to keep an eye on that. If the B-1 bombers come again tonight, today's Thursday, they came on Tuesday, I have 2 for 2 in terms of predicting them. Our next super chat is from Kelly, saying, thank you, Armin, for always breaking down everything. That always allows us to understand the IRGC. Armin, I don't want you to be humble here. Is there anyone better on the internet who is able to break down the inner workings of the Islamic Republic than you? You're muted, by the way.
Oh, first of all, I was saying, Kelly, thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you, Kelly. And don't ask me that. What the hell? Like, I'm not putting me on the spot. Okay, but Kelly,
guys,
thank you so
Armin
much.
is the best.
Oh my God. Ali Samani. How about that? There you go.
No. And thank you, Kelly.
That was very sweet. Thank you.
Jean was saying one more for confetti.
Wow.
Looks like we reached our super chat goal of 10 super chats for both of us. Thank you so much, Sean. And then,
but guys, thank you guys for the very kind support. You know, like sometimes people ask me, like, Armin, how do you have the energy to like do all of this? You know, because I stream 10 hours a day, and after I stream, I start working. And people say, how do you have the energy and the motivation? It's comments like that gives me the energy and motivation. So thank you.
That's insane. 10 hours of streaming plus the work that needs to go in behind them, plus all the other work that you need to do on top of streaming in general. It's just insane. And guys, he's been doing this for almost 7 months in a row without a day off. Without a day off, by the way. That's like 16 hours of working every day, no day off.
Yeah.
That's actually what started. Like, that's why I was trying to bring value when we started streaming, because I was like, okay, this guy is so busy. Let me just do everything that I possibly can so that when he comes, it's like way easier on him, and it just works perfectly well.
Yeah, I'm trying to expand our team so that I could do maybe 5 hours of streaming every day instead of 10 at some point, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I need to work on expanding our reach. So your super chats, guys, will go into, if the super chats gets to a sustained level, then I will be able to expand our team and then do 5 hours of streaming, and with that extra 5 hours that I get, then I will work on basically creating the structure for all of this to keep growing. The vision for Liberty Politics is to solve the pain I used to have when I was in Iran. So when I was in Iran, I had so much to say, and I couldn't say them because my opinions would get me the death penalty, right? So, and I just felt so suffocated, and I just felt like I would live in this really tiny little cage. I just had so much to share, especially as an atheist living under Islamic tyranny. It just felt like I don't know how to express. I think a lot of people who live in free countries, I don't know if they can relate to what it's like to have so much to want to say and for it to be a crime, right? So the vision with Liberty Politics is to give a voice to the censored, but also give a voice to the voiceless, because there are in many places in the world you can say things, but there's nobody that could hear it. So we're trying to build a platform where it's not just me speaking, where it's not Ali speaking, but we basically will create the tools for people that have a lot to say to be able to get their voice out there. That's the whole point of Liberty Politics. but to be able to create that system, I can't just be live all the time. I need to actually spend a lot of time in building the infrastructure for this to be eventually be a thing. So that's what right now I'm using all your super chats, saving it so that I could hire a team, so I could then focus a lot on building this structure right now.
And we actually have something for that. If you guys do think this is interesting and would possibly want to join, we do have a discussion group, and it's called School. It's on School. So it's Liberty Politics Discussion Group. We have it every single day. It's free to join. There's free calls. The point is, you guys come, you guys talk to us and other people like us, and you give your points of views. Maybe we missed something. Maybe there's a perspective we didn't know. You can ask us questions as well. And what you see on the screen right there is the discussion group. So if you scan the QR code in the top left of your screen, or even easier, every single one of our videos has a link in the description. It's free to join. We basically get to talk and make sure we're covering all of our angles here.
Yep. Yeah, and the link is in the chat. We have group calls every day, and Ali has a group call later today, so you could go and talk to him there.
Yes.
And it's free.
In about an hour and a half, you guys can talk to me. It's not recorded or streamed. We just talk. And we do have a small update here. So the Telegraph, which is a UK news media, it's a famous one, the Telegraph, is reporting that the United Kingdom is ready to defend itself, and put a picture of the B-1. Now, according to Al Arabiya, they did cite this article because it's behind a paywall. And they said that according to the Telegraph, the American bomber B-1 Lancer took off from a British base to launch a raid on Iran. Interesting. I kind of called it. So let's see what happens soon. It should be any minute now. Should be any minute now. The next super chat is from Nima Fars saying, like GTA 5, I choose option C. I actually never played it, but I'll play GTA 6 when it comes out. But thank you for the super chat. And Kelly is saying, Armin, you do the best job for us to understand. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you. I try. Thank you, guys. Okay. I don't get too much praise. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
And Kelly also said confetti. Thank you, Kelly.
Yes. Thank you.
Much appreciated. User Z is saying one for the confetti. Oh my God, our viewers are so dedicated to get us to the super chat goal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys don't know how appreciated that is. That's that's what's able to keep us going and do this every single day. So thank you, User Z. And thank you, Sarah Ocean, for saying A2, never going to give you up, never going to let you down. Hopefully not. Hopefully we won't let you guys down. We'll be here all the time. As a reminder, if anything serious, if anything significant happens during the course of the U.S.-Iran war, we will be live within 30 minutes of the event. So thank you, Sarah. Joanne is saying confetti for all. We both hit our goals. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Joanne. And User Z also said confetti for all of Alligrams. Yeah, those are coming up real soon. And User Z also said nothing like a little competition for confetti. Well, actually, I think we got them done at the same time today.
Thank you, guys.
So thank you, User Z, and thank you, Joanne. And thank you, Fleshy Interloper, for the gems.
Thank you.
Steak and Beans gifted 10 Liberty Politics memberships.
Steak and Beans. Steak and Beans. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Who also sent a super chat saying, Abraham Accords, yes. They join, Saudi Arabia joins, they get what they want, achieve their strength, and then 2 minutes later they say, Abraham, what? What accords?
Yeah, so Steak and Beans has say we shouldn't trust. So here's the thing, Steak and Beans, even if what you're saying is true, the Saudis coming out and normalizing relationship with Israel will break a giant taboo historically and demonstrate the dominance of Israel in that region. It's basically a bending the knee to Israel, and whatever they do after, they can never take that back. They can never take back the fact that they accepted normalization of relationship with Israel, and that coming from Saudi Arabia, it's a huge win for Israel.
Yeah.
It's a complete admission that Israel has won and the Arab countries have lost against Israel.
Yeah, I agree. Unless the House of Saud is overthrown, well, that's going to be a problem in the future, but Armin's statement is still true. Thank you, Steak and Beans. And Amir the Cricket gifting 5 Liberty Politics memberships. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Amir
appreciate it.
always,
And also,
you know,
Yeah.
Amir always supports me. Even when we passionately disagree, he always still supports me. Love you, Amir.
Amir, we really appreciate you. Seriously. He's been really kind to both of us. And Eli Goldman also gifted another 5 Liberty Politics memberships. Thank you so much, Eli.
Thank you.
Guys, again, if you got that in the chat, it'll be a star next to your name. You'll have some new emojis you can send. And Saber Coaching said, super chat for Ali Nofuzi. Dammit Gam.
Ooh, Nufuzi. Infiltrator.
I've had 3 nicknames. Okay, so I've been called, when I used to live in Iran, my nickname was Ali Khariji, which means Ali the foreigner. And then during COVID, my nickname was Ali Santuri, which means Ali the Santur player, which is the Persian instrument that I play. And then now I'm Ali the infiltrator.
Well, you are the
Backing him
infiltrator. You
up.
know why he's calling you the infiltrator?
Yeah. Go into the IRGC group chats.
Aligrams,
Yeah.
yes. Nufuziye mai, to nufuziye mai.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Saber. And Misha said, for your channel, Ali. Javid Shah. Boom, boom.
Javisha.
Thank you. Thank you, Misha.
Thank you.
Really appreciate that. We're able to keep going. Honestly, I love just seeing the names of the people who send us super chats and their messages. Like, I appreciate that so much. Like, that's the thing I appreciate the most, because it makes me remember you guys' names, all of you guys' names. But also, most people in the chat, I'll know their names. Like, I'll be like, oh, that's the people who show up every day. So thank you, Misha. And Lou and Kay saying, hello, guys. Did you see the post from the Iranian freedom fighter? 2CTV played it in his last stream. Love you guys and thank you. Iranian freedom fighter. Was it the Javid Shah on the wall, or were there weapons involved, or?
Yeah, you
Not
need to be
sure.
more specific, because we have seen a lot of videos from Iranian freedom fighters. So which one are you talking about? But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see it soon.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye for that. Actually, I think, did they? No, okay, not yet. Yeah, let us know in the chat. Thank you, Lou. And Kay. James Moore is saying, tell me one time when Trump followed the rules.
Well, he has a rule for himself not to drink alcohol. He always follows
Yeah, I think that's the only time. Yeah, there we go.
Is it the only time?
I was struggling. Looks like we have some more videos coming out from Ahvaz about the strikes. We'll show that in just a second. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
That's a good rule, by the way. I like that rule.
Yeah, the art of the deal, the art of the no drinking. Thank you, James. It's probably the only time. Yeah. And Misha is saying, did I hear confetti? Oh, does it make a sound?
Yes. We don't know.
That'd be pretty cool.
You should try. They should.
And thank you, Misha, for making sure we get there. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And Eli Goldman saying, and now you can't stop talking.
Oh, talking about me.
Ah,
Because I couldn't talk.
yes.
I couldn't talk when I was in Iran, and now you can't stop. I mean, to be fair, I couldn't stop talking when I was inside Iran, and I almost got in trouble. You know, Ali. So here's how bad it was. When I was in university, I was so excited for, I don't know, studying biology and organic chemistry and stuff like that. But even in university, we had mandatory Islam classes, right? And I was like, I always felt like this is so cruel. Like, why am I, like, I'm in university. Why is this being forced down on me, right? So one time in class, we were at the chapter of is the Quran being a miracle, like you know, the being one of many reasons why the Quran is a miracle. One of the reasons is that it's the most beautiful thing ever written or ever uttered. Like the beauty, it's undeniable beauty. So we were going over that regarding that being a miracle, and I raised my hand, and this is in Iran, in Tehran University. I raised my hand. And I'm sitting at the back, right? And the teacher basically asked me what I want to ask. And I say, how is this a miracle that is beautiful? And he says, because there's no other text that anybody who hears it could that they will realize that it's undeniable that this is beautiful and this is the most beautiful thing ever written. And this is why this is a miracle. And then I said this, and like, but how is it that when I hear it, I don't find it beautiful? I get so, and when I said that, the entire class, but Ali, this is like more than 20 years ago. This was not an okay thing to ask. Okay. Right now, this is normal in Iran. But back then, this was not something you ask. I remember the entire class just turned around and looked at me. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you okay? I mean, to be fair to this teacher, unlike the previous teacher who kicked me out of class for asking another question in high school, in guidance school, this teacher answered me. He came up with a BS answer, but at least he didn't kick me out or anything. He sat down and he thought a little bit, and then he said, "You're not listening to it with your heart." Okay, which is a BS answer, but to his credit, he kept his calm and he didn't kick me out of the class. But this was not an okay question to ask back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar, but yeah, it's just it's really sad when you're that young, like even younger than university age. Let's say like you're like in elementary school, and it just starts there. And for you to have also gone down that path really hard, and then you pulled yourself out of it too, and became so anti-Islam, is like very, very rare. Very rare.
Well, it's not rare anymore in Iran. It's basically
20 years
half
ago.
the population.
It was really rare.
Yeah.
And I think Lou went to find us that freedom fighter clip, so thank you. And our next super chat is from Misha saying, I'd say God bless you, but I too am an atheist. I can't read. I'd say God bless you, but I too am an atheist. Lol. We are.
I have this new thing that, guys, let me tell me if this makes sense or not. I like to say, if I had to choose anything as my God would be the nation, the people. Like, that's what I believe in the greatest wisdom on earth as of right now is the wisdom of the crowd that emerges from a free society. right? The emergent property from a free society, that wisdom and that power is the greatest power on earth. And that's what I believe in. I believe in people. I believe in and the nation. I believe in the nation state model, and I believe in the state as a servant of the nation. The nation is God, and the state is the servant. That's how if I had to choose one thing to consider as a God, it would be the people in a form of a nation. I don't know if that makes any sense.
That's the goal that we're going to create in a new Iran. That's pretty much what's going to happen. I mean, they're not going to call it God, but they're going to promote nationalism to such a heavy extent, or we should, I believe. Thank you, Misha, who also said, Ali and Armin are the meat and potatoes. Goldie and Tusi are dessert. But who's the meat and who's the potatoes?
Well, I'm not gonna. I'll be the potato.
I'm just a piece of meat, huh, Armin?
Yes, they just called you a piece of meat. Wow. Objectifying Ali. I see.
Guys, come on. Keeping an eye on the updates here. We do have a couple videos to show you guys if we read the super chats and get to Ali.
Look at this. So Omid is saying, Armin, chill with that BS. Why would I chill with that BS? I believe I want to serve a nation, and the nation is the greatest power in the world. Like, I recognize no authority above the authority of a nation. I don't think that's BS. I think that's just patriotism expressed in a more spiritual way. That is me just trying to figure out to express patriotism in a spiritual language, but I haven't yet figured it out.
Yep, and let's show them this video of the explosions here. So people are managing to send in the videos that they've managed to capture from the Ahvaz explosions tonight. So we can see one here. We actually see a pretty good explosion right there, and the sparks fly from it as well. So it's going on inside the city, well inside the city. Now I'm curious to see if this person, I mean, if they're filming this from their house, if they know what that is. Probably look at it every single day. Is that an IRGC base or a factory of some kind? I'm really curious. And so as a result, yeah.
No, go ahead.
And we also see some other videos come out of some pretty big fires going on as well in the city. They do seem to be right on the explosion site, so they're not too out of hand, but the smoke is just everywhere. So this was definitely targets within that city hit. Trying to see. There we go. Yep. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, thank you, Ali. Ali saying Armin Jun Mihan Parase Waqei. So he's saying, Armin, you're a true patriot. I appreciate that. And also, absolutely. I think I made this person butthurt. This is saying BS, bro, stick to politics. I'll talk about whatever I want. I actually know more about religion than probably you do. So I'll decide what I want to talk about. So you could go fuck off.
Ooh.
Okay.
Who was that?
I don't know. Probably somebody that got butthurt because of my views. Butthurt people.
It's okay.
Okay, somebody is misunderstanding me. Somebody? No. Somebody is misunderstanding. Oh. So he's saying worshiping the state, what could go wrong? Worshiping the state is fascism. Okay? The nationalism is the opposite of fascism. This is an important topic that people need to understand. People think fascism is ultra-nationalism. That is completely wrong. Fascism is the opposite of nationalism, because nationalism is about putting the nation high, and the state is the servant of the nation. Fascism is exactly the opposite of the opposite of that. It's completely the 180 of that. Fascism is the nation is for the state. The nation is for the state in fascism. Nationalism, the state is for the nation. In nationalism, the state serves the nation. In fascism, the nation serves the state. So what I'm describing is nationalism. What you're describing is fascism.
Thank you for clarifying that. So we're going to move on with the super chats here so we can get to Alligrams in just a second here. And Saber Coaching has said, I know what you mean, Armin. Here's another sense with the pray emoji or thank you emoji. Thank you, Saber. Everyone's so positive today. It's so great. And Misha is saying, what happened to Jew Hater? He ran out of money. I think, didn't he donate like over $1,000?
I think when the regime gets humiliated a lot, he stops coming here.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Wait,
because,
if
for
there's
example,
the
he was talking about the deal. Oh, look at the deal; it's going to make us a lot of money, dollar signs. And now we're saying that they're making none of that money. So this is not a good day for him to show up. He only shows up when he thinks he has a win. So, for example, when American soldiers died, he shows up, right? But when he knows that this is a bad day for them, he doesn't show up because he knows he's being humiliated. He doesn't have much to play around with.
Yeah.
Oh, sensei.
He's also a retard, so who knows? Maybe he got into an accident.
Oh, they were saying sensei. That's it in Japanese. That was this previous super chat.
Oh, here's another sensei. I see.
Oh, he's another sensei.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's keep in mind. Okay, looks like we also have videos coming out of Bandar Abbas. Okay. Thank you, Misha. Yeah, again, that guy maybe got into an accident. Maybe he took himself out. Who knows? James Moore.
Don't say that on YouTube. Shh, no, we were doing, guys. Go get help if you need. If you're thinking about stuff like that, don't. That's a very YouTube sensitive topic. Don't go there. Yeah.
Well, that's not what I meant, but yeah. James Moore with the super chat saying just one B1. Tell me again how they are not holding back. Just my opinion. Now, if everyone can give me $1, I will eat with Ghalibaf. Just one B1. We don't know if it's just one B1, but it might be. It very well could be.
How many B1s did the Americans just brought to around the area and around the Persian Gulf? Like, where did they put it? And I think I've heard that this is very significant that they are bringing B1s. Like this shows a lot of people are suggesting that something big is about to happen. Is that right?
That's right, but they're still stationed in Europe. They fly out of the Fairford base, the B2s and the B1s. So they take a while to get to the Middle East. Yeah.
But they're underway, right?
Yeah, so I mean the B1 is currently in the Middle East right now. It's flying over Iran somewhere. If we're we're just going to.
Okay, so there's multiple here. I got the information. The United States has deployed heavy B1 B Lancer bombers operating out of RAF Fairford and strategic global hubs to conduct massive precision strikes on military targets belonging to the Iranian regime near the Persian Gulf. This arrival of heavy payload supersonic bombers paired with explicit warnings from Washington on July 23rd signals an imminent and major expansion of U.S. combat operations in the region.
Correct. So the B-1B can go at Mach about 2, but it's not really required because it drops its payload off about 200 miles off the target, and those bombs are actually guided to their destination. It's not really a heavy requirement to have them to strike, power plants and stuff like that. The B-1B and the B-2 and the B-52s, the B-1B and the B-52s are going to be brought in to strike Pickaxe Mountain first. Then the B-2 comes in and drops the 30,000-pound bunker busters right on top of one another to try and get Pickaxe Mountain. That would be the general strategy. So B1B first, B52, then B2. Right now we're seeing the B1s in action. We saw them in action on Tuesday. They're in the air tonight. Not sure what they hit so far. But yeah, James Moore, we're just going to have to see. We need to see what happens here. But thank you for the super chat. And Misha is saying it was the freedom fighter saying cut the power because the power is keeping IRGC in power. Okay, so it's another person in Iran saying hit the infrastructure as long as it means the Islamic Republic being overthrown. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you, Misha. And Swim Master with the gems. Thank you.
Thank you.
And James Moore with another super chat. Thank you. Saying, I was brought up in an Irish Catholic family. Non-drinkers were wowzers. My Aussie and Kiwi friends know. So happy to have joined the heathen masses. So I'm assuming he means he drinks now.
Okay, so I'm an atheist, but if I had to make a religion, drinking would be banned in my religion. So nobody probably would join, except Ali, maybe.
Okay.
My religion would be very strict on health stuff. It would be no drinking. Yeah, I will. It would be a very strict diet and supplements and exercise and getting a lot of sleep. So nobody would join my religion except Ali. I think I would have one member. Oh, Lior would join. I'm in.
Gotcha. I would join.
You would join.
I'd
Okay,
like to live a long life.
I will be the prophet. Ali and Lior are members of my religion.
Yeah, if I can live a long time, then maybe we can get to immortality.
Yes.
Thank you, James, for that super chat. And Miss Hypnotic saying the freedom fighter was Ali Majd or Ali the Lore. He fled to Iraq to escape the IRGC and is at a compound with a Christian group now. Gotcha. I think I've heard that name. I think so. Just double check. But thank you for that super chat. Make sure that's who I'm thinking in my head here.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, I can't find pictures of. Okay, so maybe that's not who I think. I'm not sure. But thank you, Miss Hypnotic. And Swim Master with another 2 gems. Thank you. And Moni Kami with 400 gems. Thank you. Thank you for the gems. And Misha saying that BS answer saved your life. Okay.
Oh.
Yep, it did.
I don't. Yeah, maybe. I shouldn't have been
he
that
could have.
daring. Yeah.
He could have made some real trouble for you.
He could have. Glad he didn't.
Yeah. Thank you, Misha, for the super chat. And thank you, Swim Master, for the gems again. Steak and Beans says, you both are like steak and beans instead of meat and potatoes.
Oh,
steak and beans.
Who's the steak and who's the beans again?
And still meat and kind of potatoes. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, steak and beans. And Venus with the super sticker. Thank you so much for the support. And Mommy, I don't know why I said that, but damn it, Gam Armin, true Mihan Parast.
Oh, thank you. See, a lot of people are like, Armin, you don't make any sense. What are you talking about? You're making stuff up. But the Iranians get what I'm talking about. You know why the Iranians get what I'm talking about? Because nothing is higher to Iranians than their nation. Okay. Yeah. The most sacred thing to the Iranians are their nation. So a lot of you like, oh, Armin, what are you making stuff up? But the Iranians get it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for that super chat. Quick update here. According to Vahid Online, we have more explosions in another city in Iran. So let's go to that and show you guys the location real quick so you can keep that in mind. That's Khorramabad. So that we're going further along the western border of Iran here. So we had strikes here about an hour ago. We've moved up since then to Khorramabad up there. So we might see another night, just like last night, where we did creep up the country. And our next super chat is from Bill Herman, saying, I'm a Bible-believing Christian and agree with Armin on his view on capitalism and liberty, which the founders held. Rights come from God.
So I agree with you a lot. I do believe rights, I agree with most of them. I do believe rights are not something that are inherent within nature or God. I don't believe in natural rights. I believe rights are something that we fight for and we get by fighting for them. So rights, by the way, I respect our disagreement here. I love that. That's the whole point of liberty, is for us to, the whole point of liberty is for Bill as a Christian and me as an atheist be able to live side by side as friends and allies for liberty, while we have different views on, religion and philosophy and different things, right? So that's the point of liberty and capitalism, right? So what I think is rights is not something hard-coded in the fabric of the universe by God or nature. Like, I don't believe in natural rights. I believe rights is something that we humans created and we fight for it. And then because it's not natural, because it's not hard-coded in the fabric of universe, that understanding means that it needs a lot of, once you get it, you also need to protect it. Because the way I look at it is that if it's natural, it will happen naturally. But rights don't happen naturally. And that's why they're so precious, because they're so rare. You don't naturally flow towards it if you don't work for it. It's not it's something that we humans, we created it, and we did a really good job at creating it, and we have to constantly fight for it. And we also have to fight for not just getting them, but also fight for keeping them. That's my perspective on rights.
All right, thank you, Bill Herman, for that super chat.
Thank you.
And we have Misha with a similar super chat saying, I agree, I'm atheist, but know so much about religion. It's why I'm atheist.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, to learn about it first. Thank you. And I think we will actually go to Alligrams right now, and then we'll come back to the super chats with some updates. So guys, went into the IRGC group chats today, and I found a couple of the messages that convey the mood of the IRGC supporters. So we're going to show you guys that message. So these are Telegram channels that the IRGC supporters are in. I am also in them. And we convert these messages from Farsi to English for you guys. So they're pretty much worried about a couple of things that we are, such as this one. So Ehsan is saying, the stench of negotiations is re-emerging and the liars are on the line. It's as if this land has been bewitched and locked by negotiators. So even they don't want to go back to negotiations. They're tired of that. They want to fight.
Oh, wow.
Just complaining. So, and they all are pointing it towards two people. So two people are responsible for the negotiations. Arakchi, the foreign minister, and Ghalibaf, the parliament speaker. They are the two people that everyone's throwing shade at. And our next one that conveys their mood inside the country from the regime supporters would be this one by Mohammad Reza, who says, we will destroy America military to some extent. Our diplomats are ready to negotiate. And now let's go and see what happens. Brothers in diplomacy, don't betray powerful military moves. This is an IRGC supporter who is actually also open to the diplomats negotiating, but staying diplomats and not interfering with what happens militarily. And that's another side of the regime supporters here. You can see they're pretty eager to just get back into a full-blown war. It's like they don't actually understand what's happening. And our next one is by Adi, ADI, who says Khamenei had died before the war and was buried in a crypt in Iraq. The war became a tool for his sanctification. The one who was reduced to ashes on the first day of the war was Mujtaba. Some blasphemy here, guys, inside the Islamic Republic. This guy's saying his supreme leader had already passed away, and then the person who was actually killed on February 20th was Mujtaba. And so this funeral that just took place 2 weeks ago was for Mujtaba Khamenei, and he doesn't exist anymore. That's some pretty big blasphemy right there.
Bold claims.
Very bold claim. Remember, a lot of these messages will get deleted and censored, so this one is still up. And we also have this one. And this one says, America can hit us with bombs and then come and say, and then you guys are going to come and say, okay, they just hit our half of our country, but we're still going to stand and fight. And we're going to say that we defeated America. Okay. So America bombs half of Iran, and we, the regime supporters, still will be like, yeah, we won. We're winning. This guy's saying, how did you really defeat America? And then he's saying to the other regime supporters, you're saying we captured the Strait? Do you think it's a temporary closure? We hit 10 countries. What was the result of that? We made everyone in the Middle East our enemy. And each of them can attack us by land. So we'll be surrounded. Or we're making a last stand. What last stand? We're making a last stand by force? By war? Because we're losing that. And in every war, people achieve some goals, but they don't achieve other ones. No one can achieve all their goals absolutely. It's a rough translation, but his meaning is to the other regime supporters of, hey, wake the F up. We're not winning. You guys might think we're winning, but is this the result of our victory here? You're saying that we won on every front, on every objective. No one wins on every objective in a war. So how is that even possible? Look at the results of the Strait of Hormuz, where our infrastructure destroyed, every country in the Middle East turned against us. That's pretty much the mood amongst the regime supporters. It's been a bit more gloomy in the past few days because keep in mind, it's literally the 13th consecutive day of the southern coast of Iran being bombarded, but also cities like Shiraz and Tabriz, even around Tehran. So their morale is pretty low. It is very, very low. And that could be why on state media we're seeing these antics of them trying to push for, shedding of the skin, reforms, trying to keep in power. Could be the reason. They're getting a little bit nervous there. Actually, no, I would say that is the reason. I'm going to say that is the reason. And they're also executing people more faster as well. So they're definitely nervous about their own supporters the most. They're terrified. So in terms of explosions, we have the same locations that as we've reported. As usual, we pretty much report them first. And Armin, I know you have to go soon.
Yeah, I've been big meeting. I just realized. Yep. I just got a miss. Yeah, I just realized that.
Yeah. Do you want me to read the rest of the super chats, or
yes?
Did you want to stay for that? Okay, cool.
No, yeah.
I'm your sensei is saying, do you think Iran would have been a modernized democratic country right now with no nuclear weapons ambitions if the Shah had taken out Ruhollah Khomeini? It's hard to say what would have, happened throughout the past 50 years, even if the Shah was in power, because these Islamists and the communists would still have tried their antics. But I largely believe that, yes, we would have been a modernized democratic country. Not only that, we'd be the richest country in the Middle East by far. Take a look at some of the Persian Gulf Arab countries, would be like 10 times that, because the Shah was the only leader planning for 20, 30, 40 years in the future where he would see none of the fruits of his labor. But his son, Reza Shah Pahlavi that we have here, would have.
Yeah, that's true. The people wouldn't be as mature as they are today now. There would be a lot more respect for Islam. I think we would be a much richer country. I am more optimistic, though, about the future of Iran, of this Iran now, because back then our Shah was way ahead of the people in his mindset. Like he was way ahead of us. And now, because of the experience the Iranian people have with the Islamic Republic, the Iranian people are more mature than they have ever been. So I think once the Islamic Republic is gone, the Iranian people with these set of values and this understanding and this hate that they have for Islamic rule and communism, these people will be able to, I think they will be able to get us to make up for everything that we lost and then some once we're free.
It's a great question. And one day we can theorize more about what Iran would have been like. But you will see it for yourself very soon. And a quick little update here, guys. New York Times is reporting something pretty important here. New York Times is saying that the Islamic Republic just turned down a ceasefire proposal that al-Zaidi, Iraqi prime minister, just delivered. So it looks like Trump did give al-Zaidi a message.
Ali, you were right.
And
You
it
said
looks like
that,
the New York Times is reporting that. So I mean, it's not like a direct firsthand account, but yeah, interesting. James Moore, which is good news in my opinion. James Moore is saying, I think the B-1 has a laser targeting pod, but the others don't. I think you're right. So the other two, the B-52 and the B-2, actually need supporting aircraft to come and laser designate a target for them. As far as I know, the B-2 definitely does. But yeah, good knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Kevin Shaw gifted 1 Liberty Politics membership. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Fleshy Interloper said there is something in the air tonight.
Yeah, I know.
There actually is. There actually is. I think people are reporting UFOs. Like they're seeing all these bright lights over Iran, like way up in the sky, like super bright lights. And there was something that looked like a UFO on fire over Qashm Island a couple of hours ago, which, I mean, I'm not going to show you guys that because it seems a little conspiratorial, but there is quite literally something in the air. Thank you, Fleshy. Misha says, I only order meat and potatoes.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's not enough nutrition.
You gotta get a little bit more.
You know, I've realized that if you have eggplants, tomatoes, and potato with the skin air fried, and chicken breast, and some dark greens, and sardines, you pretty much covered everything. With very little calories, you pretty much are covering most of what you need.
What was the first thing?
Eggplant, tomatoes, and then potatoes with the skin on, air fried.
Yeah.
And what was it? The other one? Oh, chicken breast air fried as well.
And sardines.
And sardines and dark greens. If you eat that every day, you're pretty much covering everything you need.
Gotcha. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Misha, for the super chat. Our next one is Meyer saying, we're Armin's Ahl Bayt. What does that mean?
Ahlul Bayt, the people of the house. It's kind of like the disciples, kind of like the version,
the disciples.
Islamic version. Yes, kind of like this. Well, I mean, yeah. So okay, we're growing. Then we have Lior, Ali, Mir is also an Ahlul Bayt. So I need 5 to become Ahlul Bayt. 4, including me. Yeah. So I'll be the Muhammad. Ali could be the Ali. We need 3 more. Lior could be Fatima. Mir, you be Hassan.
Texas Troop. There we go. Texas Troop, who says that sounds horrifying.
Okay, we'll make your Hussein then. Ya Hussein.
Okay,
Texas Troop, you're Hussein. Texas Troop is our Hussein.
And Venus is saying, you were the most making sense of all time for us in the last 2 decades, to be honest.
Oh my God. Wow.
That's a very big compliment. Thank you,
oh my God,
Venus.
I'm gonna screenshot that. I'm gonna screenshot that. Thank you. What an honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Miss
What
Hypnotic,
an
thank you
honor.
for the
Thank you.
gems. Thank you for the gems. And Steak and Beans saying, freedoms are cool, but not without accountability. And rights are not absolute just for the fact one's right cannot deprive else's rights. Limited.
Yeah, the accountability is the point of the state. So we want liberty, but we don't want absolute liberty. There needs to be limitations, and that's where the state gets in. So I agree.
Gotcha. Thank you, Steak and Beans. And our last super chat from KP saying, find Freedom Fighter YouTube Live's video on April 17th, 2026. Mansour Ashkar inside Iran's underground church, testimony of a Christian who fled anti-K, Team Yeshua, and I still love the snot out of you. Whoa, I haven't heard that one. That's next level.
Thank you, Anti-K. Thank you, Anti-K.
Okay, I'll check those out. Let me just... There we go. Okay, there we go. Thank you, KP. And Ian Dickinson saying, is the use of the B-1 bomber a warning by Trump of a much bigger attack, do you think? The B-1 is just going to come first. So whether it's full assault or a warning, it could be either. But it's going to come first. Then you're going to see the B-52 and B-2s come in. Yeah. Could be a warning. So Ian can be right.
Be a threat.
Yeah. And we got a couple more. So Steve Dixon saying, Inja hastam. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming. You got the tail end.
قدم رو چشمون.
Yep. Hopefully we get some pretty good news soon.
بفرمایید بشینید. میوه.
Yeah, how can we make you feel comfortable? Guys,
چای, میوه.
Anything.
Okay.
Thank you for the super chat, Steve. And James Moore.
So guys,
saying,
when you get in Persian, when you want to welcome somebody, you say, your steps on my eyes. Like, step on my eyes. Ouch, actually, that sounds horrible. So, like, welcome, step on my eyes. That's how you welcome somebody.
Guys, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what the B2 just did. Or sorry, the B1. I'm pretty sure this is what the B1 just did. Let's show you guys this. So Vahid Online has given us messages here. I'm going to check out exactly. Okay, it's not working. Let me refresh that. We have explosions in central Iran. And they were quite... Okay, I don't know why it's not translating. I'm just going to read you guys it. So he's saying that there were some pretty loud explosions near Khandab, and then also in the Anarak Air Base, in Yazd and Borujerd. And let me just pull up the map here. So Borujerd. And then, all right, so here we are again on the western border near Khorramabad. And then Yazd is going to be pretty much central Iran here. Just zoom around there. Okay, so Nain, we found that. Oh, that's very close to Isfahan, huh? Yeah, I'm 99% sure that's what the B2 or the B1 just did. I am 99% Taft as well. So Taft. Okay, so we just got the B1 conducting major strikes in the central part of Iran near Esfahan. These would be the missile cities, particularly amongst Yazd. The missile cities around Yazd are used to launch missiles directly at Israel. That's what they were used in the 40-day war. So that's what we know so far. Complete power outage in Bandar Abbas at the moment. So it looks like things are picking up. And we have two more super chats from James Moore saying, I refuse to play the wife. Okay.
I think if you mean if you're talking about all the food that I mentioned, I don't cook any of that. I just make the request, and I don't even have time to make. I don't know how to cook, and I don't have the time for it. Every time I go down, every time I go downstairs, all of the things that I want is prepared for me, exactly the way I want it, and the exact portions. I am well taken care of. Okay, so I go downstairs. My drinks are prepared. My eggplant salad is prepared. My chicken is prepared with the exact specific measurements and the directions that I have requested every day. Every 3 times is ready for me. So I don't do any of that. If that's what you mean, I don't know. Do you think that's what he means?
I think so. Yeah, we got. I mean,
I should send you guys
James. I feel like James is a manly man.
Yes.
Put it there. Thank you, James, for the super chat. And our last one is from Eric Henderson saying, does the IRGC know that QW can being out big bombs or launch them from the USA homeland? Yeah, I think they do, because I think I get what you're meaning. Does the IRGC know that the US can just launch bombers from the USA mainland? Yeah, and during Operation Midnight Hammer, that's actually exactly what happened to them. So they have that fresh in their memory. We're much closer now. So yeah.
Yeah, they know. They experienced that. Yeah, Operation Midnight Hammer wasn't that long ago. So I hope they did.
About a year. Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to forget that one. And thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, James. Okay. So Armin, I know you have to go for your meeting.
Yes. So guys, I'm going to leave you with Ali, and because there's a lot of stuff that are happening right now. So thank you, Ali, for keeping out the live. So it seemed like something big is happening right now. I wish I could stay, but you guys, I'll leave you guys with Ali while he reviews.
Yeah, actually, I think pretty much we'll end it here until something significant happens, and I'll be right back on.
Okay. Anyways, I need to go right now because there's a really important meeting I have right now. So we'll see you guys same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukraine, Cuba Libre, Long live America, Javid Shah, Payende,
Iran.
See you guys tomorrow. Whew.